Red John, the name that haunted Patrick Jane for years. The elusive serial killer, responsible for the brutal murders of dozens of people, most importantly, Jane's own family. For over 5 seasons, we watched Jane pursue the killer relentlessly, making us question everyone around him. But who was Red John? In this video, we'll look at the key suspects who could have been the notorious serial killer before the shocking truth was finally revealed. First, we have Bret Stiles, the charismatic leader of the Visualize Self-Realization Center. His power, influence, and manipulative nature made him an early suspect in Jane's hunt for Red John. Stiles had a cult-like control over his followers, echoing Red John's influence over his own disciples. Stiles had access to a vast network, which could easily support Red John's intricate operations. His ability to manipulate others, combined with cryptic advice to Jane, often felt like a game of psychological chess. His casual knowledge of Jane's personal life raised suspicions that he might be more involved than he let on. Despite his influence, Stiles was ultimately more concerned with his own empire than the sadistic killings attributed to Red John. His motives aligned with self-preservation and control rather than random acts of murder.
You are here tonight to witness my ascension. My ascension from this world to a world beyond.
Stiles offered Jane key information about the Blake Association, indicating he was more of a self-serving ally than an enemy. Second suspect, Gale Bertram. Gale Bertram, the CBI director, was another high-profile suspect. His high-ranking position gave him access to sensitive information, which could explain Red John's uncanny ability to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. Bertram's suspicious behavior and his use of the phrase "tiger, tiger," a reference to William Blake's poem, suggested deep ties to Red John's network. As the leader of the California Bureau of Investigation, he had the perfect cover to manipulate investigations and shield Red John from capture. In Season 6, it's revealed that Bertram was a member of the Blake Association, a corrupt secret society. But he was not Red John himself. His allegiance was to his fellow corrupt officials, not to the serial killer. Gale orders for Jane to be captured and led to a church where they talk. After telling him that he is not Red John,
first things first, you and the feds have made a big mistake. I'm not Red John.
he is shot by his colleague, revealing who the real killer is. Ray Haffner, a former CBI agent with connections to the Visualize cult, was another strong contender. His cool, confident demeanor and the ambition to climb the ranks made him a person of interest. Jane's suspicion grew when he discovered Haffner's membership in Visualize and his close ties to Bret Stiles. Visualize had a history of shady dealings, and Haffner's attempts to recruit Jane raised red flags. His controlling nature and the power he wielded suggested he might be capable of orchestrating Red John's killings. While Haffner's involvement with Visualize made him look guilty, he was eventually revealed to be just another member of the Blake Association. His primary goal was personal advancement, not the murder and mayhem associated with Red John. Jane later realizes that Haffner was simply another corrupt official trying to use his connections for leverage. Number 4. Reede Smith. Reede Smith, a tough and often brutal FBI agent, was a dark horse in Jane's list of suspects. His violent tendencies and quick temper made him an intimidating figure. Smith's violent methods and his link to the Tiger network suggested he was involved in a larger conspiracy. Jane discovered that Smith had connections to the Blake Association, which placed him closer to Red John than most.
We call ourselves the Blake Association.
Why?
Tiger, tiger.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright. From the poem by Blake.
Although Smith was indeed part of the corrupt Blake Association, he was more of a follower than a leader. After being exposed, Smith turned on his fellow members, eventually helping Jane and Lisbon expose the corrupt network. This act of desperation proved he was never Red John, but rather a man trying to survive in a corrupt system. Fifth suspect, Robert Kirkland. Robert Kirkland, a Homeland Security operative with a mysterious past, became one of the most suspicious figures due to his obsession with Patrick Jane.
Sorry, Mr. Jane. Do I know you? No. But I know you.
His surveillance of Jane's every move was unnerving. Kirkland's creepy collection of files on Jane, complete with photos and detailed notes, indicated an unhealthy obsession that mirrored Red John's own fascination with Jane. His willingness to use extreme methods to achieve his goals made him a prime suspect. It was revealed that Kirkland's obsession was personal. He was seeking revenge against Red John for the murder of his brother. His goal was to find and kill Red John, not align with him. Suspect number 6. Brett Partridge. Brett Partridge, the morbidly fascinated forensic specialist, was one of the earliest suspects Jane considered. His creepy obsession with the Red John murders and his unsettling excitement over crime scenes made him a chilling possibility. Partridge's eerie enthusiasm for gruesome details and his admiration for Red John's work hinted at a deeper connection. Jane suspected that Partridge's knowledge of forensic details could have allowed him to commit the murders while staying ahead of the investigators. However, Partridge's early demise at the hands of Red John himself proved he was just another victim rather than the killer. His fascination was merely a professional curiosity taken to an unsettling extreme, not the actions of a sadistic mastermind. The 7th and final suspect, Thomas McAllister. Thomas McAllister, the mild-mannered sheriff of Napa County, was perhaps the most surprising suspect. Initially, he seemed too inconsequential to be Red John. Jane's realization that Red John could be hiding in plain sight led him to reconsider McAllister. His presence at several key crime scenes and his ability to blend in suggested he was more than he appeared. His intimate knowledge of the Red John case and ability to manipulate others behind the scenes made him a strong suspect. McAllister wasn't excluded. In fact, he was the real Red John.
It never occurred to him that I am the Blake Association.
His ability to remain undetected for so long was his greatest weapon. The twist that the unassuming sheriff was the sadistic killer shocked fans, proving that the most dangerous people are often the ones we least expect. Each of these men had the motive, the opportunity, and the darkness within them to be Red John. But in the end, only one could be the true mastermind behind the years of terror. Patrick Jane's relentless pursuit of the truth revealed a killer hiding in plain sight, turning friends into enemies and allies into suspects. Did you see the clues leading to the real Red John, or were you fooled like the rest of us? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into your favorite TV mysteries. Thank you for joining us in unraveling the mystery behind The Mentalist. Remember, in the world of Patrick Jane, no one is ever truly innocent.